Next is Charter on Corporate Responsibility. Charter. What do you understand by the term charter? Charter is an agreement, statement, deed, like that. What do you mean by deed? Agreement between two people. They will do lease deed, isn't it? For a house, rental or lease deed they will take. So that is called charter. Charter, you can understand it as agreement. Between whom this agreement is happening? Agreement on corporate responsibility. Who's corporate? Frequently you can hear this terminology. Corporate. Who's corporate? Industry people are known as corporate. Whoever is running industry is called corporate. So this title is Charter on Corporate. So agreement for whom? For industries. With whom? With the government. So industry is doing an MOU or agreement with the government that what are all the responsibility as a industry we will take to protect the environment. So this is today's class. Now I told government. Which part of government is here? Ministry of Environment and Forest, MOES. This is the primary body for environmental concerns in India. There is a ministry specific for every aspect. For medical colleges, it is a separate ministry. What is that? Ministry of Health and Welfare. Ministry of Education. They take care on what? AICT. Have you heard about AICT norms? AICTE. This comes under Ministry of Education. Environment comes under Ministry of Environment and Forest. There is a separate minister for that. Industry has made this kind of agreement in March 2003 beyond the compliance of regulatory norms. For what purpose? Prevention and control of pollution, waste minimization, in-plant process control, adoption of cleaner technology. These are the objectives of that charter. What do you mean by charter? I told agreement. The agreement carries these things. This is what I said. Agreement or a charter, for what purpose they do agreement? For conservation of water, energy, recovery of chemicals. For industrial purpose they use chemicals. In order to recover that chemical, they will use this kind of corporate responsibility. Elimination of toxic pollutant, process, management reduction process. These charters are formed. And finally, acts for pollution control in various highly polluted industries. Now, next one is purpose. If without a charter, if the companies are running, without an agreement, if companies are running, there will be no economic growth. So, if an agreement or a policy is there, then the economic growth and employment generation will happen. You can ask, sir, how by small agreements we will get more employment? This I will tell you in further slides. For employment generation and quality of life, we need this kind of charters. Without proper precautionary measures, if we are not doing in charters, where we will end? We will end in cause of pollution. Voluntary initiative of industry, taking care of environment purpose, these things are made. Now, I will tell you what are the industries. First one, have you heard about distillation industry? A plant which works where alcoholic drinks are made by distillation. Industry means not only mechanical parts, not only textiles, number of industries are there. I will give you some rare industries. So these are all industries which will not have frequent observation by public. So this is one of the industry. Aluminium industry. This is made of either aluminium or stainless steel. Yes, we will be using in our house. Now, the car body parts. Have you seen? This will be purely made of aluminium. Aeroplane is made by what material? Aluminium. This industry has some waste. They will dispose in an environment that causes a problem. So, for all this industry, you should have a common norms. How to run the industry in order to minimize. So, that is why Ministry of Environment and Forest is making MOU or agreement with the industries or corporate. What is this? Wheel frame. So, wheel frame which is made up of aluminium only. So, aluminium foil, have you seen? For many food products they use aluminium foil. These things are being manufactured from this aluminium industry. So then, have you seen engine in a bike? Have you seen engine corroded? No engines will corrode. Why? Because engine is made up of aluminium. If they are making by steel, making by any other metals, it might cause corrosion. By aluminium, if they make engine, aluminium corrode? No, it will not corrode. Now, next is cement industry. Large amount of pollution will be coming from cement industry. You can see different cements are used. All the cements are being manufactured from this industry. What they do is they cut limestones in a mountain and they burn for 1000 plus degree centigrade. That limestones, if they are burning that 1000-degree limestone, they will get the further element of 60% of CaCO3. That is the chemical composition. So this creates an environmental issue. Have you heard about chlor-alkali industry? You will be not frequently hearing. What is this chlor-alkali industry? Is bleaching powders and chlorination. Drinking water, they will apply chlorine. Have you seen? Why? There are some microorganisms which will be killed by chlorination. In swimming pools, they will put chlorine. Why? Because microorganisms are killed by this chlorine. So you need chlorine in lots and lots of amount. They are being manufactured from this industry. Petrochemical industry. Have you heard this? Petrochemical industry. They are the primary industry to produce petrol, diesel. How they produce? They extract oil and then they take into oil refinery. Then in refinery, how many elements you are getting? Methane or natural gas. You are using Indian gas, no? That has been extracted from where? Oil refinery. So you are getting gasoline, naphtha, kerosene, light oil and heavy oil. These things are being manufactured from which industry? Oil refinery. So from this further naphtha, have you heard about this naphtha is further refined? From this naphtha only you are getting this much products. We are thinking that from crude oil we only get petrol, diesel, kerosene. But further products are also received from this petrochemical industry. What are they? Ethylene. So where does ethylene is used? Ethylene is used to manufacture this kind of polyester products. Have you seen? Our shirts will be mixed with some polyester, will give shine. Yes or no? This is being taken from this ethylene. So they are the byproduct of what? Byproduct of petrochemical industry. They only manufacture that. Now butane. What do you mean by butane? It's a technical name where rubber is produced. Rubber material is taken from which industry? Petrochemical industry. You are having a tire rubber, cycle tire, car. Where it has been taken? This is being taken from butane. So you can see synthetic rubbers. So these are all the products, belts, rubber belt, and this is called polypropylene. Polypropylene industry, you can see the raw material of paint. Paints, ink, these items are being received from which industry? This petrochemical industry. Finally, you have waste from this industry. Tanning. What is tanning industry? You heard this name. Leather products you are getting, no? These leather products are received from this kind of tanning industry. Can you see this leather? These are all skins of animal. They are rawly cutted and they are being processed here. So this kind of leathers are manufactured. You imagine 500 liters of water is required to produce 1 square meter of leather. So it has to be treated. Can you see this kind of waste water? So where we can treat? What currently some industry do is, without treating, they will let into the rivers. Without treating this kind of waste, they will let into the ocean. That is why the ocean or river gets depleted. So this has to be taken for further process. Can you see coloring is going on? Coloring, red color. For leathers, you have different colors in leather. Some leathers will be brown color, dark brown. Animal skin will not be in those colors, yes or no? But in tanning also they use kind of chemical and they provide light brown or light red color. So these are all further processed. Now, how many industries are there which is being listed from Ministry of Environment and Forest? I have listed only some. They are manufacturing, then they are letting the disposal in the environment. So for all this, you should have a regulatory norms in order to protect the environment. That has been done by using this charter. Now I will only explain one industry, how a single industry is going through the process. Every industry is going through aluminium, cement, chlor-alkali industry, copper distillery, etc. Now, I will take only tanning industry. How one industry works, how one industry will be having charter. What is charter I told? Charter is an agreement. How to do agreement with 17 industries is today's class. We are getting a product called chrome recovery. Have you heard this chrome? Chromium. Chromium is an element. Have you heard this? Where they use chromium? They use chromium for stainless steel. Chromium is a product. If they add in steel, it becomes stainless steel. So, where does they use this kind of chrome? They use in tanning industry. For animal skin, if they want to tan that, they will use chromium. So, when they are using, the chrome will be getting as a disposal. The Ministry of Earth Science is giving a suggestion that you should recover that chromium by using this process. Can you see this process? The leather industries use chrome for what purpose? For tanning that, tanning the leather. After tanning that, it should be recovered chrome in the tanning process. This is what their charter. Now, the chrome tanning industries will make their financial contribution of 10%. The chromium can be utilized and reused for what purpose? For this purpose. Do you have stainless steel in your mobile? Stainless steel. When you are inserting chip, can you see a metal? That is stainless steel. If you are opening your laptop, you can see stainless steel plates, forks, knives are all from stainless steel. What they do is, they recover the chrome from tanning industry, extract chrome and reuse for another purpose. Next agreement is waste minimizing measures. So, what measures they have to do? If they are generating a leather industry or tanning industry generate waste, they have to go for waste minimization methods. For that, what they have introduced from Ministry of Environment and Forest, task force is being introduced. Have you seen flying squad? During exams, flying squad will come. From where they come? From VTU, some people will be allotted directly from university. They will say that go and inspect this college. Now they will immediately come and inspect how exam is happening on. Immediately, like that, the ministry will provide some task force. They will immediately go to an industry. What process is happening, they will take some sample, monitoring things with the disposal, and they will monitor. For what purpose? Waste minimization process. Next one. Reduction of water in consumption of tanning industry. They should reduce the consumption of water. How much water is being used? So I told that all tanneries has to have an installation of water meters. Earlier, before 2003, industry doesn't have water meter. In your house, do you have water meter? How much water you consume? You have water meter. You are paying for that to government, yes or no? So, like that, industry before 2003, industries were consuming water like anything. Nobody knows how much water they consume. But charter is being implemented and industries definitely should have water meters. So that government will come and check the water meters, electrical EB meter, how much electricity they consume, how much water they consume, they will keep on monitor. Now, after monitoring this, actual consumption of wastewater is discharged can be calculated. Yes or no? If this much water they consumed, how much water is effluent? They can check. So they will check that this much of water you have consumed, how much water you have treated. They will ask. So this process has to be there. So this I have taken from some research article. How much water is being consumed by a tanning industry to produce 1 square meter of leather. They use from raw material to tan 146 liter, from raw to crust. These are process. For single process, they consume all this water. How they are doing the statistics? Because government is providing a charter or agreement that industry should have this much of facility. Now, compliance of standards CETPS. Have you heard about this name? CETP. What is CETP? Common Effluent Treatment Plants. So, where they use, I have discussed here. Can you see this water? After tanning industry consume that water, this water will be waste like this, brown in color. So, what they use is this tank. Whole tank is called what? Common Effluent Treatment Plant. That is called CEPT. Common Effluent Treatment Plants has to be provided in order to treat that. And what is ETPs? Effluent Treatment Plant. All tanning industry should have ETP or CTEP. What is ETP means? A single one. What is CTEP means? Common. For all the units, you will be having a common effluent treatment plant. And automatic monitoring instruments shall be installed. Separate energy meter. This is what I said. The industry should have an energy meter, how much electricity they consume. They will monitor. And replacement of anaerobic lagoons. What do you mean by lagoon? I have heard this lagoon. What is that? Lagoon is a small pond, and health safety workers to be employed. So soon after they provide this kind of law, what happens? The industry will try to recruit people. Government is putting lots and lots of norms to us. We need a person to take care of this. So they will recruit a person and they will put in a treatment plant. For what purpose? For discharged treatment plant, you take care of this work. So the company will hire somebody and put in a work. So this is what I said. This kind of business charter will give employment. If we are not having any norms in an industry, do we get any employment? There will be no norms. They will consume like anything and nobody will be taking care of environment. Now after putting a norm, what happened? Employment is created. Pollution is keep on decreasing. Now all large tannery unit should process more than 5 tons of leather skin per day, should have auditing on annual basis. If you are manufacturing 5 ton of leather, then audit will come from the government per year. Can you see that? Annual audit basis. Now modification and upgradation is required, has to be done. I have discussed in earlier point that you will be having a treatment of effluent system. What kind of treatment you can see from this image? So those waters will be collected in this common effluent treatment plant. This is called a effluent treatment plant. What they do from here is, these are the process. They will be having a grid. What do you mean by grid? Grids are, can you see small holes will be there in a plate. So when the water flows through that plate, whatever is suspended there will be suspending on the top and only liquid goes out. That is called grid. So how they process this kind of waste is, first one is grid system and primary sedimentation tank. Oh, have you heard about the sedimentation tank? They will be having a large tank. This water will be coming in from one pipe, and imagine in your class, this class is completely filled with that disposal. What happens if some dirts and particles are there? If it is kept like that, it will settle at the bottom. Only water will be taken out. That is called what? Primary sedimentation tank. Why it is called sedimentation? If it is kept on a tank, the automatically particles will drag down and they will take it separately. So only the water will be taken for the next process called biological treatment. In a leather industry, do you have bacteria in that waste? Yes, definitely you have microorganisms. That is why they take into biological treatment. You have anaerobic and aerobic bacteria. So then secondary sedimentation tank, here you will be getting sludges. What do you mean by sludge? Have you heard about this sludge? sludge is a waste. What waste? In a sedimentation tank, particles will settle at the bottom. That bottom portion, whatever particles are there, is called what? Sludge. Those sludge will be taken out by a tanker, and coagulation, sedimentation, filtration, then sterilizing tank. What is the purpose you have sterilizing tank? Sterilizing is for killing all the bacteria and harmful things. They will sterilize, then it is being letted out into river. Every industry will let the water into a river or an ocean. Before letting it, how many processes they should do? Primary sedimentation, biological, secondary sedimentation, coagulation, filtration, sterilization, then it has to be letted out in water. What is suspended and dissolved? Dissolved solids are not extracted by settlement. Can you see, if you are having a groundwater, you need a treatment process, RO water, reverse osmosis. This is an electrical process. If you are using any RO filter, does it come with electrical plug point or without plug point? Electrical plug point is there. So the water filters use electricity in order to filter. So salt will dissolve in water. So those salt, how we can extract? By using reverse osmosis. So the dissolved sauce has to be taken by using desalting process. So if you desalt that, hence you can use for further purpose. So the treated water can be further used for any land, for irrigation purpose, for sewage. Certain industry will let into sewage. So that will be further treated. And also you can use for irrigation purpose. Next, solid waste management. I have told you sludge is being taken now. From what process sludge is taken? Primary sedimentation and secondary sedimentation. They take the sludge and they keep in the separate place. The utilization of sludge into a byproduct. They use that sludge for a byproduct. Cement. Do you have different grades of cement? Different brands are there. Have you seen ordinary cement? Fly ash grade cement is there. Then slag based cement is there. Different types of cement is there. Quick setting cement. Have you heard this? If they apply in an area, within 15 minutes the cement will quickly set. That is called quick setting cement. The effluent treatment plant can be used for biogas. This is what I said. Biogas, they extract what? Methane. Biogas purpose they can use. Safe disposal of hazardous sludge for non-hazardous solid waste. So this is called solid waste management. Next one, salts from solar evaporation. There will be salt in that effluent. When you are letting that disposal in a lagoon, due to sunlight it evaporates. During the evaporation, salt you can extract and reuse for recovery salt. Safe disposal, you can make it or dispose into the sea. Salt can be disposed. So this is called salts from solar evaporation. Now, eighth one, use of boron bearing compounds will be dispensed. Groundwater quality monitoring, they will inspect. These people from government, they will take the groundwater and inspect. What if these tanning industry are not treating and they are letting into the soil? The soil will absorb water, no? If they are letting into the soil, what happens? This soil will get contaminated, and after contamination, groundwater will also contaminate. So they take sample from groundwater. They will test the groundwater, and if any harmful chemicals are found, they will make fines for them. So this is what groundwater quality monitoring will be done. Then the effluents will be applied on land irrigation. If it is free, they will let into the irrigation. If you have a harmful compound, you should not use for irrigation purpose. The implementation of recommendation of task force constituted by whom? MOEF. What is MOEF? Ministry of Environment and Forest. They will impose a task force by government.